Dr. Blied.
Hey, thank you so much. Really glad to be here today. I am a clinical health psychologist in private practice in Claremont. So in my work, I split my time, like 90% with providing testing or neuropsychological evaluations for ADHD and autism and specific learning disabilities for both children and adults, so like 5 to 45-ish. And I have a smaller part of my practice where I also support adults who are living with chronic illnesses. This comes from my education and my training, but really from my lived experience as a neurodivergent woman who has also lived since 2012 with lupus and fibromyalgia. And so I bring that lived experience into my work, and it's just really meaningful to be able to support people. But it's also why rest has become so fundamental and foundational for me, because if I'm not resting well, that means my lupus flares up, that means I'm in much more pain than my regular everyday pain, and that means I'm like kind of not a nice person to like my husband and kids, and that's not too great. And so I do have some notes prepared because that's how I roll. And with that, I'd like to share with you all just some information, some of the science about like how stress impacts our bodies, how chronic busyness impacts us, and then some like take-home strategies, some practical things that y'all can do today. So get ready to like participate to be able to usher in that rest. So good evening, everyone. I'm really grateful to be here. So as a clinical health psychologist, when women come into my office describing anxiety and emotional exhaustion and irritability and brain fog and feeling spiritually disconnected, very often it's not something that they're doing wrong. It is because their nervous systems have been living with chronic busyness for just way too long. Chronic busyness is not just a lifestyle issue. Did you guys know that? It's a physiological stress state. We're going to talk about how God designed these bodies, these masterpieces, but our bodies were designed to move in rhythms, from activation to recovery to repair, and activation and recovery and repair. But when we stay in constant motion, doing the next thing and the next thing, managing work and relationships and caregiving and other responsibilities, our nervous systems get stuck in that activation mode. Cortisol, the stress hormone, stays elevated, sleep becomes disrupted, and Dr. Tamika is going to tell us more about sleep and hormones and those sorts of things, but also the mind keeps scanning for the next task, which means emotional regulation gets so much harder. And anybody can like identify, okay, so thank you, I'm not the only person. And even small things can become really overwhelming, but I just want to share with you, like, when this, not if, but when this happens, there is nothing wrong with you. Your nervous system is actually operating the way that it was designed to do. God designed our bodies for survival, but God didn't just design us for survival. God designed us to flourish as well. One of the most important systems that are involved in rest is called our parasympathetic nervous system. So we have like two main parts of our nervous system. The sympathetic, which is fight, flight, freeze, like get ready to run from a bear, or like, oh my gosh, there's this overdue bill. And then we have so that's a stress state, right? And then we have the parasympathetic nervous system. Think about it like parachuting down. That's our rest and digest, feed and breathe. This is where our immune system is functioning the way that it should be. That's when our bodies are able to regulate like glucose and blood sugar and all those things. The main part of the parasympathetic nervous system that we can actually engage and activate, and we're going to do that today, is called our vagus nerve. The vagus nerve helps to regulate our heart rate, our breathing, our digestion, and our emotional balance. When that is activated, the brain receives a simple message: you are safe. You are safe enough to rest. You're safe enough to slow down.